There is a plant with thick red stems spreading across your garden right now that delivers 7 times the vitamin E of spinach, 6 times the beta-carotene of carrots, and contains a marine omega-3 fatty acid that scientists believed land plants could not produce. For 4,000 years, it fed empires from ancient Greece to medieval Europe. Farmers planted it deliberately alongside their wheat and barley. Then we declared war on it. We engineered $40 billion worth of chemicals specifically designed to kill it. We convinced homeowners that this nutritional powerhouse crawling between their patio stones is the enemy. This is the story of the superfood they turned into a weed and the system that profits from your ignorance. Welcome to Lost Nature Archives. The archive opens in northern Greece, 1050 BC. Someone carefully places seeds into a clay vessel and seals it. 3,000 years pass. When archaeologists finally open that vessel, they find thousands of tiny black seeds, each barely 1 millimeter across, the same plant growing wild between the stones outside. By the 7th century BC, these seeds appear stored in the Heraion of Samos, one of the most sacred temples in ancient Greece. By the 4th century BC, the philosopher Theophrastus is writing detailed cultivation instructions. He tells farmers to plant it in April alongside their essential crops. This was not a gathered weed. This was deliberate agriculture. The Roman Empire cultivated it across 3 continents. Medieval Europeans ate it at nearly every meal. When scholars in 1288 compiled exhaustive lists of everything consumed in Milan, this plant appeared not as a curiosity, but as a staple food. This is purslane, Portulaca oleracea. The plant that solved a nutritional problem scientists did not know existed, and the one we spent billions teaching you to destroy. In 1960, physiologist Ansel Keys launched the 7 countries study. He wanted to understand why some populations had almost no heart disease, while others died from it at epidemic rates. He tracked over 12,000 men across 7 countries for 50 years. The results shattered every assumption. The farmers of Crete consumed some of the highest fat diets measured anywhere in the world. More than 35% of their calories came from fat. According to every nutritional theory of the time, they should have been dying from heart attacks in massive numbers. Instead, they had the lowest cardiovascular mortality rate Keys had ever documented. Lower than Japan, lower than Finland, lower than anywhere. For 20 years, scientists credited olive oil. Then, in the 1980s, researchers went back to the frozen blood samples from the original study. They were looking for omega-3 fatty acids. The Cretans had 3 times the omega-3 levels of the Dutch population, but they were not eating 3 times more fish. They were eating purslane every single day and salads in stews sautéed with olive oil. They fed it to their chickens and goats. The entire island food system ran on a plant that grew wild in every field. Dr. Artemis Simopoulos analyzed purslane in 1992. The numbers seemed impossible: 300 to 400 milligrams of alpha-linolenic acid per 100 grams of fresh leaves. That is 5 to 7 times more omega-3 than spinach, 15 times more than iceberg lettuce. It is the richest vegetable source of omega-3 fatty acids ever measured. But then the research revealed something that should not exist. Land plants do not produce EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid. That is a marine omega-3. You get it from fish and algae, not from something growing in your driveway. Purslane produces EPA. When Simopoulos published these findings, other scientists questioned whether the samples had been contaminated. They had not. The plant produces 7 times more vitamin E than spinach, 6 times more beta-carotene than carrots. It contains melatonin, glutathione, potassium, magnesium, and calcium in concentrations that make it one of the most nutrient-dense plants ever analyzed. The Lion Diet Heart Study tested whether eating like the Cretans could actually save lives. 605 patients recovering from heart attacks were divided into two groups. Half received the standard low-fat cardiac diet. Half received a Mediterranean diet rich in purslane, walnuts, and omega-3 fatty acids. After 5 years, the purslane group had 70% fewer deaths, not 70% fewer heart attacks, 70% fewer deaths from all causes. The study was stopped early because keeping the control group on the standard diet became ethically impossible. So if this plant prevents heart disease better than any pharmaceutical intervention ever tested, why is it not sold in every grocery store? Why do agricultural extension offices publish guides on killing it? In 2022, Dr. Erica Edwards and her team at Yale published findings in Science Advances that rewrote what scientists thought was possible in photosynthesis. They had been studying purslane because it did something that violated the rules. It thrived in extreme drought while simultaneously growing faster than almost any other plant. Most plants use C3 photosynthesis. Corn and sugarcane evolved C4 photosynthesis. Desert plants like cacti use Km photosynthesis. They open their pores at night, then seal everything shut during the day to prevent water loss. Scientists knew purslane could use both C4 and Km. They assumed the plant kept the two systems completely separate. When the Yale team mapped gene expression across individual purslane cells, they discovered something unprecedented. Both photosynthesis systems were operating in the same cells at the same time. C4 activity during the day for rapid growth. CAM activity at night for drought survival. Dr. Edwards called it a very rare combination of traits that has created a kind of super plant. No other species on Earth does this. Purslane survives on 1/5 the water corn needs. It grows in soil so salty that most crops die within days. It produces 200,000 seeds per plant. Each seed remains viable in soil for up to 40 years. Every stem fragment that touches ground roots into a new plant. You cannot kill it with heat. You cannot kill it with drought. This is the plant the herbicide industry declared war on. The global herbicide market reached $40 billion in 2024. Bayer, Syngenta, and Corteva sell products specifically formulated to kill purslane in lawns, gardens, and agricultural fields. The same chemical weapon developed during World War II that the Scots Company began marketing to American homeowners in 1947. Homeowners associations prohibit it by name in their bylaws. The entire infrastructure of modern horticulture treats purslane like an invasive enemy. Not because it damages ecosystems, because it cannot be controlled. You cannot patent purslane. You cannot genetically modify it to depend on proprietary fertilizers. You cannot create a hybrid variety that farmers must purchase new every single year. It has been reproducing freely for 4,000 years. Every other omega-3 source exists as a controlled market. Wild fish populations are collapsing globally. Farmed salmon requires massive industrial infrastructure. Fish oil supplements cost $20 per bottle. Purslane grows free in every climate zone where humans live. It produces more omega-3 per acre than any cultivated crop. And it asks for nothing except sunlight and occasional rain. The plant that could revolutionize how humanity produces food is classified as the world's most common weed. But half the world never forgot. In India, they call it kulfa and sell it in markets as a premium vegetable. In Greece, glistrida. In Mexico, verdolagas. In China, it has been continuously cultivated for thousands of years as ma chi xian. Grandmothers still teach children which plants to harvest, how to cook them, when to save seeds. What happened in America was systematic erasure. but the knowledge survived in fragments, waiting for the moment when people would need it again. That moment is now. Learn to identify it. Thick red stems and succulent paddle-shaped leaves that grow flat along the ground. The stems are smooth, never hairy. When you snap one, it is juicy and almost translucent inside. The flowers are tiny and yellow, usually hidden between the leaves. Stop poisoning it. If it grows in your garden, let it. If it appears between your patio stones, eat it instead of spraying it. Harvest it young during the first 6 weeks when the leaves stay tender. Eat it raw in salads for a lemony, slightly salty crunch. Saute it like spinach or blend it into smoothies. Save the seeds. One plant produces hundreds of thousands. Collect them in late summer and you will have enough to plant an entire garden or share with everyone you know. Teach someone else. Every person who learns to recognize purslane is one more person who stops believing that the most nutritious food only comes from stores. The herbicide industry does not want you to know the richest source of omega-3 fatty acids is growing in your driveway right now. The pharmaceutical industry does not want you to know the supplement they sell for $20 per bottle is trying to replicate what purslane does for free. The agricultural industry does not want you to know the superplant scientists are desperately trying to engineer already exists. It is called purslane. It has been feeding humans for 4,000 years, and it is in your driveway right now. This knowledge is not lost. It grows in every crack, waiting for hands willing to harvest it. If this archive opened something for you, subscribe to Lost Nature Archives and hit the bell. Every like and share preserves what they tried to erase. The next archive opens soon.